I want to speak to those who voted to kiss the ring and perhaps the rear end of China's dictator Xi Jinping. A vote for Biden was a vote to harm yourself. That's the conclusion we reach in tonight's preamble. Let's leave aside all the Democrat socialist advocacy I just listed to focus on what liberals consider their strength, the China virus. If you watch the biased media, you're left with this false notion that somehow President Trump is to blame. Now, without a doubt, you have been misled by a biased media that knows all too well that the virus was unleashed on this world intentionally by the communist Chinese government. It was that very same basket of biased press that convinced you that Beijing Biden was worthy of your vote. They lied or hid the truth about Biden from you. You didn't get a savior from the virus, rather a vacuous man with an equally vacuous party that offers some pretty scary solutions for the China virus. You all know about the promised mask mandates, the closing of the United States economy, and the closure of your businesses and the loss of your jobs. But the word coming out of the office of the president-elect, which, by the way, isn't a thing. It's fake. It's theater. It's simply a media fabrication. The word is from Beijing Biden that there will be a new China virus task force. One member of the task force is Ezekiel Emanuel, the brother of the former Godfather mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel. Everyone knows that the most vulnerable group to the China virus is those who are over 70 years old. Well, here's the guy Biden wants to weigh in on how to approach defeating that virus. Emanuel, a doctor, a so-called medical ethicist, argues that life after 75 is not worth living. Ezekiel Emanuel questions, quote, whether our consumption is worth our contribution, end quote, in old age. In other words, a guy who questions saving the lives of older people is now in charge of how to best protect older people from the virus that can be lethal to them. Great voting, liberals. By the way, Beijing Biden has a message for all of you Trump supporters out there who voted against socialism. Watch.
This election is over. It's time to put aside the partisanship and the rhetoric that designed to demonize one another. It's time to end the politicization of basic responsible public health steps like mask wearing and social distancing. We have to come together to heal the soul of this country so that we can effectively address this crisis.
Right. Heal the soul by wearing masks and social distancing, because all leftists who voted for Beijing Biden take the China virus very seriously. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty serious, folks. Really serious to me. After Fox and CNN called the race for Biden on Saturday, Biden's supporters packed the streets, some not wearing masks. No social distancing was seen at these super spreader events all over the country. But the press, well, they said nothing. And even if a member of the press grows a conscience and wants to ask a tough question of Biden, well, here's what we get.
Americans, thank you.
If Trump's legal challenges are not successful, get used to that. After 4 years of President Trump being the most accessible president ever, the press will now tell us that it's okay, in their little minds, that Biden never has to answer a question. Their reasoning will be, they will say with a straight face, it's because Biden will tell us all what to do, not the other way around. And this way, there will be no conflict. We will all come together and do as we're told, because there will be no choice. There will be no voice in a Biden administration for we little Americans. And that's just like the press and Biden voters want it.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.